All right, welcome to the MMA Fight Game Podcast. You might recognize this good-looking cowboy to my left, maybe my right when you're looking at it. We are talking to the reigning, defending 155-pound Combat FC lightweight champion, Nate Ghareeb. Nate, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you again. So, since your Combat FC 4 win, what's been going on in the life of Nate Ghareeb?
So my wife and I just moved down to Florida full time. We finally got our own apartment. We had moved in
Nice.
about a month ago to our own place. I've been back, but we've been back here for about a month and a half now. Just training, man, just waiting for, the next opportunity to arise. Getting ready, just staying ready, like just staying in shape, working on new skill, just trying to fill in the holes in the different areas where like I feel that or my coaches feel that I need to like work on, so that's just still upgrading, that's just how I don't really look at like fighting as like camps or not. Like I'm in camp, I'm at camp, like I'm always in the gym. So it's just, what's the next thing that we need to work on? Just checking boxes off.
Yeah. Now, has your wife been helping you with your judo skills? Because I know I was trying to harass her to get her to judo tossing before your Combat FC for. Is she helping with that?
No, no, she's not. But she's helping with me with everything else. She's helping me with like she's been helping me with my nutrition, and she's obviously a huge help with like my everyday life, and helping us get in here and everything like that. She's definitely been a huge part of like, she helped us find, I mean, she found the apartment. She found like she's just my number one supporter. So,
Yeah.
she's been huge in every
Yeah,
way.
but behind every strong man, there's an equally or stronger woman. Behind that, athlete. You guys are. If you follow along on your Instagram or even her Instagram, it's hilarious. It's fun to watch. I love interacting with you guys, watching your travels and things like that. It's great. So if people want to do it, they can go to what's your Instagram? Is it Nasty Nate Ghareeb? Is that what that your Insta
Yeah,
is?
yeah. Mine's
And
nasty.
I'm sure they can find Allie on yours as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
on
yeah.
you guys is fun to watch, especially you want just some time to decompress. What you guys got going on. I think I saw you at the beach the other day, and
Yeah, yeah, we got to go to the beach finally.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I have not. I think she went before, and like, and I've been here for, I don't know, I guess like 6 months, 6.5 months now. But that was the first time I've been to the beach since I've been here, so it was nice. I got sunburned immediately.
yeah. You're pasty white like I am, bro.
I'm usually not. Like I have like Spanish blood in me too. It's like I tan pretty easily, but I was like 30 minutes out there. I was like, what the fuck? Like it was so hot. Sand
Uh,
was super hot. Like it's crazy.
Now, do you incorporate any or are you going to incorporate any of the like swimming or open water swims for your training since you have access to that and the weather's kind of good down there?
Probably not. I mean, I have like done swimming before in the
Yeah.
past. I don't know, like a lot of my conditioning and like I don't even really do strength and conditioning. Like I have in the past as well, but a lot of it's just like repetition in the gym, repetition in the gym. Like I do a lot of wrestling and I do a lot of striking. So like I'm in the gym a lot. And that's really where I get a lot of my conditioning. That's why I feel like I don't know, learn efficiency and like just like working on my technique and just like, there's no better, I don't think there's any better way to get cardio than wrestling. So
But what about building strength? Like obviously doing the explosive lifts. Like if you watch some of the UFC embeddeds and things, you see like Alex Pereira doing cleans. You see some guys doing snatches. The Olympic liftings and
yeah.
doing some power. Do you find value in that, or are you just not at a point right now where you would do that?
Yeah, I mean, like I guess it's really like to each their own, right? Like everybody's body's different and they all like react to different things. Um, I feel like I've been like naturally gifted with like strength for whatever reason. I just have that strength. Like I might not be the most like explosive guy, but like I have speed, I have strength, and like I am powerful. And I've done different approaches where I've had a strength conditioning coach, which I noticed my athleticism getting better. Like my ability to explode from point A to point B did get better,
Okay.
especially with wrestling. But um when I'm in the gym and I feel like someone's like, if I feel like someone's manhandling me, like I just look at like the percentage. Like if I'm in the gym and I'm like, man, like this guy is just so much faster. Oh man, this guy is just so much stronger than me, which is not really anything that I've ever felt was like been a problem. Like I felt like if I had a deficiency in that, then I work on it. Right. At one point, a couple years ago, I felt like my cardio was an issue. And so I was working with this one guy where we worked on a lot of like resistance training, and it was like a lot of like hard, intense, like interval training. And
Yep.
it got to a point where it was like I realized that most of it, in my perspective, a lot of it was just in my mind. And so once I reached that point where it's like I can push through some of the most insane workouts, it was like I can push through any of like the intense training sessions. And then like, at the end of the day, like I'm gonna be fighting, right? So like why like for me, it's like if I'm fighting, I think a lot of people look at it as like, oh, this is a competition. Like to me, it's a fight. And so I want to be good at fighting. I'm not going to be, if I'm running because I need to like lose some extra weight, right? Just change up the workout a little bit. I'm not swimming because I'm not swimming in a fight. I'm not running because I'm not running in a fight. I'm fighting. And so for me, it's like I want to do that as much as I possibly can, because it's like if you're conditioning your body to do this over and over and over again, it's like it just gets easier over time. And that's just how I've like always perceived it. But I don't think it's bad to do strength conditioning, running, swimming, or any of that stuff. I think it's just like I think it's really just like based on the person and how they like feel it reacts to their body. Like I hear people always say like, "Oh, like I like to run because it helps my cardio," and I'm like, "Bro, but you're not running in a fight. Like why not do footwork rounds or something like that? That's more like conducive to what you're gonna do. Like create the patterns, like get those neural connections so that you're just doing it in the fight, like faster, faster, faster. Like, yeah, you can get a little bit more power, you can get a little bit more speed, but like what about the finesse of the technique? You know what I mean? Like I'm always on the side of efficiency, and like everybody's different though, like maybe I'm wrong, we'll see. But
Or they value things differently than
yeah,
or I kind of get your take on it. It's just you can have all the technique and finesse, but strength wise, if you can be a little bit stronger, that could give you a competitive edge for
yeah.
sure. I mean, in other
Well,
sports.
one thing yeah, I mean, in every sport's different too, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody's got like different objectives for different sports. But one thing I noticed too is like, especially when I got the ATT, I never felt like in the gym I was like overpowered by anybody, or like even some of the bigger guys. I don't feel like I'm overpowered by them. They're just way more technical to the point. Like it wasn't like I was like, man, this guy is just holding me down. He's just so strong. It was more like this guy is so much more technically advanced than me, and so much like he just understands where he needs to be at A, B, C, and D. Like it wasn't like, man, like I'm so weak. This dude's just holding me down. It's like, dude, this guy is so good at like moving his hips and directing the position, where it was like it didn't matter how strong I was, because I am really strong. I know I'm strong, but I was strong, I'd be able to bench this guy off, and again, there's people out there that are so freakishly athletic they can get away with it. But one thing I always remember when I was working at as a bar back in college was I would go really fast because I was like I work hard, right? I would get like if I had to go get a case of beer, I'd grab it and I'd sprint. I'd be sprinting back and forth, back and forth. And one of my managers at the time said, Nate, like one thing that I learned in the military was that um, speed number one was speed hides mistakes, and slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so that's the other thing was just like I feel like when you're trying to like overcompensate with your athletic abilities, it's like because you're overcompensating with your lack of understanding of the technical approach. If that makes any sense.
Yep, it totally
But
totally makes sense. Hey, you mentioned being at AT&T. Obviously, your head coaches, Mike Brown, an OG, Tiago Alves, another OG. Training with those dogs day in and day out, regardless if you have a fight or you're waiting for that next opportunity. That's almost like a fight camp in itself, because you have some of the world's best.
yeah,
Like they're like I follow ATT. I see your pictures. I follow some other athletes that are at your gym besides you, and I mean, they're all dogs in that gym. What does it mean to you? You might not have a fight on the books currently, but being able to go in and day out, does that give you the confidence whenever that call comes, you'll be ready?
oh yeah, absolutely. Um, because yeah, I feel like you're just like in the trenches all the time. Like when you go into the gym, there's no easy days, right? Like there's no like you don't there's no like rest rounds, like, and I don't mean like, oh, you can't take a round off. Like, yeah, you certainly could if you wanted to. But I'm saying that like nobody in the gym is like, there's no hobbyists, there's no like bums, there's no like guy that's just that sucks. Like everybody in the gym is very, very good, very technical, and very like hardworking and dedicated. So it's like you're surrounded by that every single day. It's like you have no choice but to get better. And like you've got coaches that are they're bringing like a serious amount of knowledge and experience to the game.
Yeah.
So it's like you like I said, you have no choice but to get better. You have no choice but to learn because they're feeding you all of this like great information and their attention to detail and like helping you to progress. So like you're not like just going through the day where you're just like doing the same stuff over and over again. Like you're constantly working on refining and getting better and pushing yourself. So, I mean, even like I said, I've only been back for like a month and a half and I already feel like I'm ready. I could jump into a 3-round fight if I wanted. I could probably do a 5-round fight if I wanted to and still be good to go because it's like, when you have the level of training partners that you have
Yeah.
and you have the level of coaching that you do, um, I feel like confidence it's just going to come naturally with those two things together, so.
Yeah. And, obviously, Mike Brown being a former WEC, UFC champ, one of your main training partners, I just texted you about that, Grant Dawson, just got a fight against Bobby Green on October 7th. Training with those guys. I think, did I see on your Instagram, you also got some rounds with Edson Barboza?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me. Don't have to get into specifics because obviously what happens in the gym stays in the gym. But
Yep.
just give me talk to me about those guys and what they did to help you.
So yeah, I mean, since I've been at the gym, I've gotten quite a few opportunities to train with Grant. And he's been very like influential. Like he's helped me out a lot. And anytime I've asked him for help or had questions on a technique or a position, like, hey, can you just help me? Like he's been more than willing to help me. And
Awesome.
he's been super, super great training partner. And he knows a lot. Obviously, he's a very, very, very experienced. He's ranked number 10 in the world. And so to even be surrounded by a guy like that and to be able to pick his brain and have him share his perspective and thought process and even helping me through certain things has been tremendous for me. You know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
not like, when I was back home and it's like, there are a lot of great people back home that know a lot of stuff, but when you have somebody that is not only knowledgeable but has also experienced that high caliber of where you want to be, um, it just it makes a world. I just think it makes a world of difference because it's like they have the receipts, they've been there, they've done that, they've experienced it, they've seen it, so it's I'm trying to think of like the word I'm trying to use, but like they have evidence of it. Like they have the real evidence. Like, hey, this is what I've experienced. This is what I've seen. This is how I do it. This is what's worked for me. And then there's video evidence of it, of them doing it in real life. You see it in the fights against high level people. And if they're doing it to other people, it's like, okay, this works, so it's not just like a theory anymore. It's like, this is real. This shit works. He's done it. He's doing it. As far as getting to work with Edson Barbosa, like that was a big deal for me because he's somebody that I've like looked up to for years. He's somebody that I've been watching since I started MMA, especially being somebody who's like known for kicking and kneeing and also
Yeah.
being somebody that's like very heavy into Muay Thai. I mean, he's a legend, and so for me that was a really big deal. And he was it was great to be able to move around with him and like see what works, what doesn't work. I mean, this guy's also tested against the best in the world at both 55 and 45. And I got to pick his brain a little bit and he was very, very helpful in like explaining and breaking down how he sees things and like how he's always viewed striking. And, that makes a world of difference too, because another guy who has, film evidence and experience of going out there and doing it against the best in the world, some into some against like arguably the greatest fighters of all time, so um, you can't beat that type of experience. You know what I mean? Like
No, definitely not.
unbelievable.
What's Edson's leg kick feel like? Is it
I didn't experience many because he's a really, really good training partner. Him and Grant are really, really good training partners. Like they're not trying to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like I don't like they're obviously in fights, it's different, right? But when they're training with you, like I think they can differentiate, and like that's kind of like what Edson was saying, is like when he was coming up, it wasn't like we weren't sparring hard every day. Like it was like the Muay Thai was like the Thai training basically. Like, you know, it was more like a flow sparring. It was like a play. So it wasn't like he's fucking like bearing trying to fucking put you down every single time. And again, this was before him getting into training camp. So I have no idea. I haven't sparred with him to the level of like, okay, I'm in the cage and we're, you know, he's getting ready for a serious fight. But he did hit me with a vicious spinning hook kick to the quad, and it was awesome. It hurt like a motherfucker. It like crippled me for like a day. But it's pretty cool, man. It's just like because it's also like the old Andy Hug like spinning hook kick to the fucking knee. It's great, beautiful technique, and it was done so perfectly, and I didn't even see it coming. And I was like, it just like it makes you go like, man, that fucking hurt, and it was also fucking awesome. So you're just like, I don't know, I was more like excited about it than anything. I was like, that was pretty cool.
Now you'll get to see now you'll see something coming if somebody else tries to throw that bow, throw that kick at you.
Yeah.
Fun fact is I actually saw Edson's second UFC fight ever in New Jersey when he fought Anthony Njokuani.
Okay.
I was at that fight. That was the day that jonjones won the light heavyweight title as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
and then both your guys that you just mentioned, you know, Grant fights October 7th and Edson fights the 14th out in Vegas at the
Okay.
So it's back to back weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty good. You know, hoping that maybe you know, Dana White's listening, Sean Shelby, any of those guys. And you know, there's a card locally close by me, selfishly, MSG at UFC 295. So if any 145er, 155er doesn't want the smoke from the opponent they give, I know you're willing to take that smoke,
I will
right?
take that. I will take that spot. Just give me a call. You can find me. You can find me pretty much anywhere. I'll be around. I can make the trip. I can drive if you need me to. Whatever you guys need, I'll show up for it. I'm always looking for a good fight. So
Yeah, so we need Sean and Dana to call you for 11-11 at Madison Square Garden. How crazy would that be? You would make your debut in the UFC, just playing devil's advocate, matchmaker. You make your debut on potentially John Jones and Stipe Miocic's retirement fight, walking out at the Mecca, the biggest sports arena in the world, at Madison Square Garden. What would something like that mean to you?
I mean, it would be awesome. I mean, obviously that's a place where, you know, like you said, it's like the Mecca. Like everybody always thinks like MSG, like big fight. I mean, to make a debut there would be amazing. And then to be able to go to a place like that and to showcase my skills on another high level opponent in front of a ton of people would be amazing. You know, it'd be definitely like one of those things where I think it'd be one of those moments you never forget for sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, you know, for me, I'm just looking forward to, and it doesn't matter where it is, you know, I don't care if they want to, you know, even if it was like in Australia last night or, you know, in the Singapore card or wherever, like I'll go wherever they need it, you know, like I don't give a fuck, even at the ends of the earth, just to get there, get an opportunity to show them like I'm here and, you know, I mean business, I'm serious about this. So, but yeah.
And before we wrap this up, what goes through your head when you're making that walk?
Um, I don't know, it's kind of changed over the years, I guess, but you know, for me, I try to just stay as calm as possible and just try to take it in. You know, it used to be like I used to just kind of like let my thoughts like they'd kind of run and I'd kind of get attached to them all. And as I got older and I, you know, had more experience making the walks, like I got better at just kind of like not really indulging what's going on inside my head and just try to be as present as I can be. Um, you know, try to take in like again, I don't wear my glasses when I walk out, so I can't see as well. But you know, just taking the moment, like I'm here, like all the hard work that I've done is like you know, accumulated to this point, and like knowing like I deserve to be, I wouldn't have be where I am if I hadn't done all this stuff before. So it's like I'm here for a reason. It's not like I'm just like, oh man, like it's not like how did we get here? It's like I know how I got here, you know. So for me, it's just being calm and being grateful that like I have the opportunity in front of me to go show like what I've been working on and to show people like that I am serious and that I do belong here. So try not to, I know a lot of people have different like perspectives and approaches to it. But for me, it's just like being as present as I could possibly be, and take it all in and go out there and just do my job.
Yeah, and then when that cage door closes, do you kind of get a sense of like relief because you've been in the cage so often that the stress kind of relieves and it's just time to eat?
Um, yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't know. I'd say like my last couple ones were like definitely the last. Actually, I don't know. I'd say like the last 4 fights have been a little bit different because before it'd be a little bit more of like a panic, be like,
Mhm.
oh fuck, like this is a fight. Like we're about to get into a fight, but like I forgot like I love this shit. I love doing this. This is like what I signed up to do. Like, I don't know why some like we get to this point. Sometimes people are like, holy fuck. Like, a lot of people have that when they walk out, they're like, oh my God, I'm about to fight. I don't want to do this. But it's like, dude, this is what you asked for. People
Yeah.
used to say this all the time, but this is what you asked for. This is what you get. This is what you wanted. It's like, yeah, that is what I asked for, and this is what I wanted. So when it gets to that point, it's just like I said, like once you're in the moment too, it doesn't feel like anything else. I think a lot of people build up certain fights in their head that like, this is my big opportunity. This is the biggest moment of my life. This is a championship. This is a fucking UFC. This is belt, whatever the fuck it is. It's like, it's a fight. It's a fucking fist fight, like it's not, everyone makes it to be this fucking big, like whole thing. It's like, dude, like if you show up every day, like, so I'll just say this last thing is like before my last fight, I was in the back and I was talking to Joe Lozon because he was back there.
Yeah.
He's been a coach of mine, and I asked him, I said, what, did you ever get nervous before fights? And he said to me, like, I had, I don't know if maybe he said he had like some moments of it, but like really same thing. He was like, one thing that he said that was like really, really stuck with me was like, did you do everything you could have? Did you do the rounds? Did you skip practice? Did you show up every single day and do like, were you working with the best guys you could? Were you doing the work you should have been doing? Like, was there anything you look back on you wish you had done more of? And at the point, this was probably like an hour before I walked out, I was like, yeah, I did. I mean, I did everything that I definitely could have. I did absolutely everything I could have. He was like, then you're good. He's like, and if you didn't do it, he was like, well, you're still gonna go and walk out, aren't you? And I was like, it's a good point.
Let's
Yeah, I guess it
go.
is. Like, there's nothing I can really do. He's like, there's nothing you can do at this point. Just go out there and do what you've been doing. Like, there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. It's like you start overthinking all this stuff. You start putting shit in your head. And you start thinking about like all the things that could go wrong, or did I do all this? And then when you sit there and you ask yourself and you answer the question honestly, it's like, yeah, I did everything I could have. So go out there and do everything that I can with what I got. Like it's not that I can't change anything in 30 minutes or an hour. Like, what am I gonna fucking do? Hit more pads, work on my jab more? Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna fuck this guy up. That's what I'm gonna do. And if he fucks me up, then we go back and we work on what we fucked up on. But I think fighting's a lot simpler than
Mhm.
people make it out to be. And you
As
can
evidence of last night between Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know. Sometimes I think, people, I think just fighting in general, like the last couple of years, I realized it's like, all we're doing is problem solving, right? Like that's what the fight is just is a big problem solving. Like just run through your PEMDAS. Like, how am I going to break this guy down? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? What if he does this? It's like, okay, well, what do we know? What do we not know? What do we think we know, but we might not actually know, and just fucking go out there and handle business as we do as if I was just sparring with somebody, but I can be a little bit meaner, and I think that helps too when you go out there and you actually like have the intention of fucking hurting somebody. Like you're like just okay with it, just accept it and go out there and let just be free. That's the biggest thing. Be free. You're not locked in a cage. You're free.
Absolutely. Well, what I do know is that you are a fast rising prospect in the MMA scene. Your call is definitely upon us. I'm expecting to hear fight news from you shortly whenever that call comes. You're probably really at the top of the UFC radar right now. I know I'll be out there this week for UFC Noche. If I see any executives, I'll be shouting your name from the rooftops. But I truly appreciate the time today. And we'll definitely touch base as we get fight news for you as well. All right.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All
I
right,
appreciate
Nate.
the time. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Sit tight, bud.